of hate from Mephisto, and this combination executed perfectly at the end of the game.
From Alarak, make it a quad kill set up by that ETC.
Wow, did you see that mosh pit? 4-man mosh pit while on a conveyor belt. That was like a regular sushi line.
Nuke rack, 4 at 50%. Both cores are just absolutely melting. Which one's going to go down first? I think this is going to be Respect the Gooses. Oh my goodness.
Ring. Oh my goodness, the ring. Jaina just pulling up everybody here. That's a 4, make it 5
And it
for
does
nothing.
not fall up. What a play. Oh my God, somebody please clip that.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am your host, Aero. Oh my goodness, that light is so bright. Oh man, I might have to see if I can fix something about that later. It is very bright, my goodness. But welcome. Tonight we're going to catch Division D East between Calculated Throw and ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush, and I apologize, my system is using the wrong numbers there. Correct those scores, it's 2-0 right now. Or it's not 2-0, it's 0-0. And let's see if I can. Oh, they DM'd me. I will give you map bans here in just a moment. I file a case against ProBUs Drift for the copyrights to Hanamura Drift. You know what? They're close. They're close. Let's see. So what do we have? Map bans. Calculated Throw. Banned out. Let's go ahead and pop this up over on the maps side here. Calculated Throw banned out Battlefield of Eternity and Sky Temple. BOE and Sky Temple there. 3 up to that. And then we've got ProBUs Drift. They banned out Braxis and Dragonshire. Braxis and Dragonshire. Go. And ladies and gentlemen, our first game tonight is going to take place on Towers of Doom. And this was the selection of our red team. No, I'm sorry, it was the blue team. Let's take a quick peek at the standings here as the draft is underway. We'll hop over to that in just a moment. Right now we've got ProBUs Drift in 8th place. Sitting there ahead of Kael'thas Can't Spell, behind Full Meta Jacket. And then we've got Calculated Throw here, currently tied with Frank's Furters with 6. Let's see. That's cool. All right, so starting us off, we have Leoric, the first pick on Towers of Doom, coming in for Badgerlord. Meanwhile, we got Mal'Ganis and Deckard. That is a fantastic combination between that tank and healer combination. Being able to put people to sleep and then have the root follow-up could go either way on which one of those comes first. ETC and Li Ming. So ETC is a good pickup. Going to be able to knock back the Mal'Ganis. Can also use that power slide to interrupt the ultimates. Either one, whichever Mal'Ganis uses. The face melt will not interrupt a Carrion Swarm. It's got to be the power slide for that. So we did start off here with the bans on Zool and Johanna for Calculated Throw, finishing up with Ana there. And then for ProBUs, we got Orphea and Garrosh going to be the bans. And with that early Leoric pick there, that's going to give them that opportunity to double soak mid and top, taking Zool off of the map here with the ban there. really makes it so that there are limited options that are going to be able to keep up with Leon. So I expect to see maybe a Malthael here, although Malthael might cause a little bit of chaos with the potential sleeps. No, Dragonshire, that's true. That's true. Sorry, buddy. But thanks for the follow. Appreciate you stopping by. Also, I didn't get a chance to shout out Murda. Murda, thanks for bringing everybody over. Really appreciate it. Murda, of course, coming from Regen. And we got Raynor and Mephisto. So potentially another couple heroes that could very easily break a sleep. But they do a lot of damage. Of course, Raynor had his Inspire nerfed just a little bit. Or rather, I guess his Executioner. Or Executioner? Exterminator. There we go. Lucio and Sylvanas going to be the final pickups here. And looking like a strong comp here with the shield to prevent some of that Mephisto damage. Maybe if they go consume souls. Also, those additional knockbacks to deal with the Mal'Ganis and even really the Mephisto to a certain degree. Now let me know if everything sounds okay. I'm trying this with the sound coming through my speakers, but it shouldn't really change much for you guys. What does change is that light. Got some natural light in here on that white bulb that I literally just installed. And it looks like we're gonna get a blaze at the end here. So, you know, in the grand scheme of things, Leo wins the double soak there, right? Blaze is going to have a little bit of a difficult time keeping up. So it's going to be easier for the Leoric to continue to pressure those lanes. And we'll have to see. Blaze in this instance might have to provide some value by coming down and setting up play. Coming in with a jet propulsion and saying pause, getting a sleep, getting a big root, and then having Mephisto and Raynor just really burn them down. We're going to get into game number 1 here between Calculated Throw, ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush on Towers of Doom. In just a moment. Murda, you said you're doing a double header tonight, right? Let me know what time your next matchup is. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, on the left we've got Calculated Throw. Let's get our teams introduced here with those pop-ups. It's gonna be Tater playing the Raynor. We got Mystic on Mal'Ganis. Mona Dirt playing the Mephisto. Grievant on Deckard Cain. And of course, Blaze up here gonna be played by Gen Confusion. And over here on the right, ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush. It's going to be Chaos Tank on ETC. We got Desda playing the Lucio. Hirobi on Li Ming. Aruba on Sylvanas. And Badgerlord playing the Leoric. Alright, so take a look at these talents here. It's going to be time to feed for Mal'Ganis. So looking for those attacks, damages, anything he can do is gonna against an enemy hero is gonna occasionally give him a little bit of healing. And there's that sleep onto ETC. Also gets a sleep onto Lucio. But at least for now, it's gonna be a little bit difficult for them to get those lockdown kills that they need. We'll see how that turns out later in the game. ETC going into Block Party, gonna help the reduction of damage coming from Raynor. Yes, doubleheader. My first one ended. Be back at 10 o'clock. All right, well, perfect. We'll see about them then. There's feedback from the speakers. That's probably because I had the I can address that. I'll deal with that in the interim. Sorry about that, folks. Solo laners hanging out in the mid, and again, so it is going to be Ocean Renewal there for the Leoric, giving him that self-heal, that short burst of self-healing there. Aero Hungry for the Li Ming, and is that smooth moves? The Chalorando. So Lucio going to be able to zip around the map a little bit faster. And of course the game is pausing. I just started this game. I just rebuilt the client. Oh well. All right, so field study going to be the case here for Deckard. So he's going to get that additional spell power anytime he gets a root out there. So getting some value out of that. Increased healing potions. Also, though, more damage. Expect maybe a Scroll of Stone Curse coming in level 16 and getting that additional 200%, I think it is, when you hit 2 heroes with roots. New habits for Blaze, so he's got that Unstoppable. But also the cooldown reduction. Almost as important, I would say, for his Pyromania. ETC's power sliding in, gets put to sleep, and there's the face melt pushing Mona Dirt back. So Mephisto not quite getting as much damage as the Lord of Hatred would have preferred. But both teams picking up those siege camps, and they're trying to bring them down in the middle of the lane here. See the movement ping there called, and it's Mal'Ganis getting caught by the stun. He is going to put ETC to sleep just enough to let Mystic get away as our first altars of the game are coming up here. This is a triple altar phase. The first one is always going to be 3 altars. First and fifth. See how the teams look to split up here. Going into Ruby, that incredibly overpowered Deckard talent. It was always good, just not quite as good as some of the other options, and now it's amazing. We got Desda trying to pick it up, but Mystic is going to zip in there and pause that one. As this is a 4v3, Li Ming is up in the top there as Leoric gets the first channel. And Li Ming's coming down. Is she going to be here in time to help out the rest of the team? Grieven's going to get channeling here as Deckard might not be able to make it. ETC going to get down there in enough time. And both of the solo laners up top here saying, hey, you know what? That's your problem down there. You guys can deal with it. This is our time to shine. That said, here comes Leoric. So we're going to see the rest of ProBUs pull back just enough for Leoric to make his way in here. So full 5-on-4 here, but a lot of damage going into the probes. That Mephisto able to get that Lightning Nova value onto multiple targets is bringing them all pretty low here. And Lucio helps with that healing, but it's right now it's Badgerlord very low. The potion's coming down as well as Blaze right up here, and First Blood going over to Calculated Throw, getting the kill onto the Lucio. So definitely the CC value here on the side of Calculated Throw is going to be very important. The sleeps, the stuns, I've mentioned it multiple times, they have a lot of potential to really lock down heroes and bring them down between the Rainer damage and Mephisto. Of course, Mephisto's value goes up if you don't have to move, right? If everybody's stuck in a route and you can just sit there with that Lightning Nova, that's excellent. That's bonus points. So expect to see plenty more of that with the jet propulsion routes here coming out from Calculated Throw. And we don't have a cleanse side of ProBUs. Well, I suppose technically we do. We could see a high 5. I don't think it's likely, but it could happen. All right, there it goes. Big sleep with the root combo. Chaos Tank getting caught by the Fell Claws here. Lucio trying to save ETC, but it's just not enough. And a second kill going over to Calculated Throw. And I think if you're Lucio, I think that the difference is in the Mephisto ultimate. If Mephisto takes Consume Souls, then you pretty much have to go with Sound Barrier. But if Mephisto takes Durance of Hate, I think that all of a sudden it might very well be worth that high 5. As we get our second altars of the game here. 36-32 the score so far, and just about a quarter level away from level 10 is Calculated Throw. They're on their way. Both sides setting up to channel their own. Just giving away the other points on the opposite side. We see a little spray here. I don't even know what spray that is. Can't even look at it anymore. It's gone. ProBUs heading down into the bot lane, trying to get as far away from the level 10 enhanced Calculated Throw. But here comes a root. Isn't going to land on anybody. And not quite in a position to lock down that ETC. Speaking of those level 10 talents, we do have Carrion Swarm. It is going to be Consume Soul, so I expect to see the Sound Barrier. We've got Combustion. Stay a While, and Hyperion. There's the Hyperion coming out. We got the sleep. Monoderp going in with the Mephisto damage here. There's Combustion with the root and the silence. The sleep coming in. The silence from Sylvanas trying to stall out the push, but it's just not enough, and that's going to be a dead ETC. Not even the sound barrier there from Lucio was enough for that. Ultimately 5v4. We do have the Wave of Force, the Entomb. Of course, we saw that. Wailing Arrow and Sound Barrier and the Mosh Pit. So look for those opportunities. There are really, I guess, three good ways that they can stop a Mosh, right? They've got Jet Propulsion if they have Pyromania, because he's got the Unstoppable. Got Deckard's Stay a While, and then they've got Penetrating Round from Ray. So any of those three. They also, in theory, could use Mal'Ganiz's abilities, but that would be challenging. Not impossible. And it wouldn't put it on full cooldown. Alright, so both teams have some sappers coming in. There's the sleep coming in. Mosh Pit onto 2-3. There's the sleep, though, stopping it. We got Consumed Souls coming out, but there's no sound barrier just yet. It's coming up now, though. Leoric Wraith walking away, but ETC and Li Ming gonna get destroyed by Mephisto there. Raynor finishing up on the Lucio. And thanks to these sappers, they don't have the Hyperion just yet. It's coming up now if they want to use it. They don't really need to. They're going to get the bottom tower, so that's one extra point as Mal'Ganis beginning to channel, and that will give them now 5 points with a level 13 advantage. Bot lane extremely important on Towers of Doom because of these camps right here. That's potentially as much as 6 points that could go through each cycle of the camps here. That said, Monoderp a little bit far forward and gets deleted. Combo coming out from Chaos Tank. Li Ming finishing the job, getting the first kill of the game for ProBUs, and ultimately giving them now the opportunity to take their fort back, getting that structure count back to 4v4. It looks like, you know, they've got Sylvanas. They could very well push a little bit more into this bot lane. They were waiting for those minions. I don't know if... my guess is that they used Black Arrows on their own keep. But Raynor getting a little far forward there does use Inspire, or rather Adrenaline Rush to get out. Big sleep coming out from Mal'Ganis. Making another sleep here from Deckard as Lucio caught, but the Wailing Arrow going to put the pause on that as Chaos Tank pulling up above to get away. So not quite. They could have almost gotten this tower, but ultimately they focused on the Raynor. Almost had that Raynor. A little bit more damage, and Raynor was toast. If they were on even levels, I think Raynor probably dies there. We're a little bit behind. So Raynor survived. We're coming up here. Siege Camp is available. Raynor getting that started, but ultimately recognizing the timer. Just not going to work. Jet Propulsion coming in onto Lucio, but ETC taking the tower shots here. With that mosh pit, got interrupted. Sound barrier coming out. Mal'Ganis coming, looking for the ETC. Never mind. It's going to be Consumed Souls taking one cow off the map here. Badgerlord down below, looking like it's going to be a double kill for Calculated Throw. And so far, 8 kills to 1 in this game. ProBUs hasn't really been able to find quite their footing in this one. They have had to be relatively defensive, so that one kill, the only one onto Mephisto there at the tower. But Calculated Throw has been looking really strong. They've got a great CC comp. I've said it half a dozen times at this point, sure. And every time they're able to land those CCs, they've got a great chain. They can burn the damage between Mephisto and Raynor and finish the job. Now, we'll see if that changes as the game goes on. Towers of Doom is typically a longer map. It can go, certainly, all the way to level 20. Difficult to snowball here, typically. But this is how you do it, right? Pushing down in the bot lane, maintaining control wherever you can. There's the slide over the sleep. So Mal'Ganis is just going to get caught there. But you know what? Mal'Ganis walking away rather quickly. had no issues just prancing his way right on out. And Calculated Throw is happy to continue poking down here. They've got the XP advantage here. They're up a half a level away for ProBUs from 16s. And here comes the triple altars. With 19 points left, Calculated Throw would need to gather that bottom keep, get all 3, and the boss. That's the math for how it would have to work out if they wanted to win the game right here. And if they're paying attention, they might try to do that. They don't have a period, so it might be difficult. In any case, a 2-for-1. Big value there for ProBUs here. But it's going to be Lucio falling thanks to that massive combustion. And Sylvanas coming right there behind as Raynor finishing the job there. Felclaw's going out onto Chaos Tank. So ultimately, they lose 2 heroes. They get 2 altars. That's a good trade on Towers of Doom. Ultimately now, Calculated Throw is going to get the boss. So it's going to give an equal number of points to both sides out of that triple. But being down 16s, it's probably about the best value that they could have really hoped for. All right, rotation coming in from Calculated Throw, looking for the ETC and Li Ming down here. They're going to get stalled out as Mona dismounting them, or preventing them from mounting, rather. And I fully expect that now Calculated Throw is going to maybe look at pushing down a little bit more in the bot lane. They do have the Hyperion. Base Melt is down, so Cast Tank now no Power Slide as well. So stopping the Mal'Ganis is going to be difficult at best. Really would require the Wailing Arrow. And this is a fight. They're looking for it. Leoric's coming in, is trying to stall out the damage. Mosh Pit is coming out onto 2. Big Sound Barrier, going to keep everybody alive for the moment. There's the Carrion Swarm, though. And Desda just barely sneaking out of the Entomb, but not quickly enough. Leoric going to fall as well. And that's going to give at least one Sapper the opportunity to make its way in here onto this bottom keep. Maybe. There's some minions to be taken here. And this is like... There you go. That was only 4 shots, though. So that was... you know what? That was a great play by Sylvanas, getting the kill onto Mephisto. And the bottom one, they didn't wait long enough. They needed to wait just another moment for that to give them another shot. So that's going to give 2 points left on the core for ProBUs. Calculated Throw, very close to finishing out this game. One siege camp right here could be the end of it, if they can push it through bot lane. But it's not looking like that's going to be the case. Sylvanas here shutting down the tower. They got the Black Arrows. Blaze putting the pause on Leoric on his rotation down into the bot lane. But here come those Sappers. If nothing else, those need to be cleared up so that they don't just instantly basically take that back. It's not by themselves going to take it back, but a Hyperion could with them. Very close to it, if not. Leoric having to Wraith Walk, trying to bring down the damage here, using that ominous Wraith. The DTC put to sleep. Lol meth, right? So close. Here come those Sappers, as mentioned. One of them's already at half health. Minion's doing a little bit of work there. Half a level to go for Calculated to Throw. Only one altar right here. And that's going to be where our next fight's going to take place in 30 seconds. This isn't... Oh, a solo Mosh onto the Raynor. What a great start to this. And that equalizes the XP now. Blaze up in the top does get that camp, so they likely will have 20 just a few moments ahead. The Mosh Pit, though, onto the Raynor. So much value. Level 20. Let's see what we get. Upgraded Carrion Swarm. That's another CC. Got the Combustion upgrade. Slowing everybody while also moving faster. Respect the Elderly. A little bit of Silence and Blind action. Mimic. Tons of damage from that lightning node. And what's Raynor going to take? Execute. Because of course you do. You got a big old combustion going out. Why wouldn't you take an execute? But now level 20's up for ProBUs Drift here. They've got Bossa Nova for those shields more often. Repulsion. Really going to help out with controlling the battlefield. Oh, Blaze getting caught here. The power slide coming in. There's the Pyromania giving him the unstoppable. But the Buried Alive Entomb getting the silence. They finish the job. And Grievant getting interrupted there on his stay a while. So here comes the Carrion Swarm. It's gonna get the Lucio. And look for these bats to come out in just a moment, putting some people to sleep. They get the Sylvanas to sleep here. But stay a while will land, and that's gonna be ETC getting caught. Consume Souls coming out. Doesn't matter. ETC's already down. As now, Mal'Ganis gets to sleep. Root going out onto Badgerlord, trying to get away. He's at half health. And that looks like it. So 2-for-1 trade on that. But do they get the keep? No, not quite. Not quite. This is actually about the best case scenario for ProBUs, though. Having that fort so very low. Well, now maybe not. Having that fort so low means that they could potentially pull that real quick before these altars. Give them the potential to gain more points. But they're not going to have ETC, and Lucio will be just barely on the map. He's... Oh, they're splitting up. They're looking for checkmate here. They can ignore the sappers. They cannot ignore either altar, and they cannot ignore the boss. They need to have... They're not even looking at it. Sylvanas may be heading up, but Sylvanas is not going to be able to stop this by herself. There's Jet Propulsion and the Sleep. Sleep coming out from Mal'Ganis. There's Aruba getting caught by the combustion, but the thing's almost dead. And it is successfully capped by Calculated Throw, and they will end the game with a triple kill. Game number 1 going over Calculated Throw. All right, so a quick look at the stats there. 17-4 on the kills. Really, the CC potential coming out from Calculated Throw just absolutely dominant and really set them up. The Leoric Double Soak couldn't keep up with the XP advantage that Calculated Throw got from just getting those kills. So they're constantly playing a game of catch-up, and ultimately put them just too far behind. Just set them in a position where they couldn't catch up with the points, couldn't catch up with the structures at times, and they had a good shot at the end there. They were making some good plays, but ultimately Calculated Throw coming out on top, looking very strong in game number 1. So going into game number 2, kind of changes do you make? First of all, you have to consider what map you're going to go to. You want first pick or map pick. And it wouldn't surprise me if we saw maybe a little bit more CC potential, because really they only had the ETC. Or potentially a cleanse. Cleanse could have been really helpful for those ETC motions. There's probably a thing. There's a setting that I can probably... Oh well. 18 minutes and 52 seconds there on Towers of Doom, so... A fun map. Towers of Doom is a great map. Every time that I watch a game and the map has been banned, I get sad. Because Towers of Doom is just... It's a map that anything can happen. You can have amazing plays. You can have last-minute boss, like... chaos. We almost saw it there. If the rest of the team had kind of been able to get there a little bit faster, then that could have been exactly that. Dax says first pick, and you know what? That's fair. That it depends on what you like. If there are particular maps that you're really strong on, or if you prefer having second pick. I know Regen Red, my old home team, greatly preferred to have the second pick. Right? We wanted to be in the position where we could have our last pick solo laner, for example, or just simply we wanted to have a specific map, we wanted to play it, we wanted to have our own game plan and try to throw things off. That said, first pick has taken a significantly higher priority in the last, I mean, mostly for this season. I think even for most of last season, especially with the Oriole and Deathwing combo, right? That combo, it just meant that you had so many teams that basically just had to ban out Oriole and Deathwing. So we will find out where we're going here. Oh, you know what? Hope took first pick. CT picking Shrines. There we go. Forgot I changed the chat. So let's take a look at the map details here. All right, so at the beginning here, calculated throw, they started off with the bans on Battlefield of Eternity and Sky Temple. ProBUs, they banned out Braxis and Dragon Shot. First map there, Towers of Doom. Selected by calculated throw. One by calculated. We're going to see now Infernal Shrines. So it's, you know, the ball is in ProBUs' court. This is their time to now say, okay, you guys won first game. That's okay. Where do we go from here? And this is where they need to recognize the areas that they had difficulties in the last game, and build that up. And it's up now to calculated throw to come up with a different strategy, right? To acknowledge that ProBUs is going to be looking for some way to counter that strategy that they just. I think both of our teams are ready. Not positive. They might be talking like pirates. Just saying. Throwing it up. All right. Looks like the game's starting on Infernal Shrines. Let's take a look at this draft. All right. So we started off last game with the Zool ban and the Orphea ban here. Orphea started on the side of ProBUs. Right now, we gotta wait for those players. Gotta get them connected. Ekdar saying, "Let's go CT." We got some Probe fans. We got some CT fans. It's nice to see people on both sides of this showing up to support their friends, their teammates, their companions, their sister teams, whatever you call it. All right, so again, Orphea was the first ban, and it doesn't surprise me to see that banned out again. Orphea is quite a strong hero now, and on a map like Infernal Shrines, where everybody's kind of confined, it's really easy to get value out of Orphea's updated kit. You smell like beef. I mean, we did just see some cow action. Just throwing that out there. All right, so Zool picked for the first ban on the side of calculated throw, and there goes the Deckard. And I actually really like that. I think that ban is huge. It really... Deckard interrupt every mosh, I think. Maybe except for one. Not 100% positive. And ETC. Chaos Tank did a lot of work with that ETC. Really used the face melts and power slides to zone well for the ProBUs team. So both of these second bans clearly consideration from that last game. And there's the Johanna. So Johanna doesn't have a cleanse, but by default has the ability to cleanse in a way, pre-cleanse herself. So I like that pickup. It really sets up to make sure that they can at least have the one hero who can stall things out. And with her ultimate, potentially do more than that. So we're going to stick... I had the pop-ups wrong last game. Had Grievant on Meganis. These people changing on me. Well, there's the Kael'thas. So Kael'thas getting on Infernal Shrines can put the Living Bomb onto minions and spread that really easily here. So having the Kael'thas is high value. Raynor and Sylvanas. So sticking with the Sylvanas, although at least currently switching it off of Aruba. Aruba going over to Raynor now. So Raynor switching sides. I believe the stream has so little views. It's a very solid stream. Well, thank you, Lindis. Appreciate it. Yerf. All right. Lucio going to be the third ban here. So, you know, with the Mal'Ganis, so Raynor's going to help to address the Mal'Ganis. I want to see a Brightwing. I want to see Desda go into Brightwing. Brightwing shuts down Mal'Ganis. The constant polymorphs, the potential for slows, the cleanse. She's got an AoE cleanse, can even self-cleanse if done at the right time. Has the potential for Emerald Wind, if not going into the Blink Heal. Has really good spell damage. Like, if in every way, Brightwing is the pick here. Which is why they're not going to pick it. Heck, even Zul'jin, like, getting a polymorph onto Zul'jin when he decides to do his Taz Dingo would be pretty valuable. Badgerlord going into the Ragnaros. Have definitely seen that here. And what's it going to be, Desda? It's the Brightwing! I love it. I love it! You know what? Maybe Desda's in the stream and going, you know what? That Aero... All right, I'll trust this guy. How to message? What? Auto mod. Okay, let's go. And there's the Ana. Good call coming from Thendis. For whatever reason, the auto mods didn't want to let that through, and I think I know why. All right, let's see if they change any of these heroes around. They did the last game. Looks like those are good. Mona's over there. All right, so nobody changed. Ignore that first round of pop-ups. So this is going to be interesting. Like, again, Brightwing now with Pixie Dust is going to be able to mitigate the potential damage out of the Kael'thas. If she takes the level 13 Safety Dust, that increases from 30 spell armor to 55 spell armor. So Pyroblast completely negated. You've got the polymorphs. I love the Brightwing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it's played out here. That said, Calculated Throw's got the Ana. They've got the Kael'thas for that nano boosted everything. Zul'jin can do a lot of work, but he also can get blinded. I mean, he's also doesn't have quite the range of Raynor, so we'll see how this turns out. As we get into game number 2 here on Infernal Shrines, on the left, it's going to be Calculated Throw. Currently up 1-0 in this game. We've got Mystic playing Mal'Ganis, Grievant on Ana, Monodirt playing Kael'thas, Gen Confusion on Dahaka, and Tater on Zul'jin. And off to the right, we got ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush. It's going to be Badgerlord playing the Ragnaros, Chaos Tank on Johanna, Desda on that Brightwing. We got Aruba on the Raynor, and Hirobi on Sylvanas. Make sure they didn't switch there. They didn't. Good job. Good job. All right, let's take a look at these talents. Level 1, the Brightwing going into Hypershift. That's fine. Maybe Greater Polymorph could have been good. But I think either one of those is going to be valuable there as Mal'Ganis going in. Once again, using those Fell Claws here. The Ana Grenade, however, is going to stall out Badgerlord, but Mystic going just a little bit too deep, flying a little too close to the sun on those demonic wings, and Sylvanas going to get the first blood. Favor of ProBUs. Taking a look at our talents, we do have the Meteor build here, Shifting Meteor for Ragnaros. He'll eventually be able to control the direction of that Meteor once. But you know what, Dahaka, speaking of the Ragnaros, Dahaka pulling Rag away from his wall and evening out that score. Hate Slim. Let's see. We've got Headhunter for Zul'jin. Did not get that count on Ragnaros, of course, because that was elsewhere on the map. Winged Guard for the Mal'Ganis, of course, to help mitigate the damage coming out from Raynor. And speaking of things going on the map, we got a quick siege camp in the bot lane from Calculated Throw. Rotations coming in. They did start this earlier, Probes did. But they didn't finish it. They only got one of them to about half health here. So got a little bit behind on that. As Calculated Throw doing the same in their own. Classic middle fight, Mal'Ganis feed. It is time to feed. He says it all the time, right? I mean, it's the first thing Mal'Ganis says. Time to feed. There you go. We'll have to keep an eye on the number of Mal'Ganis deaths. Not because of any other reason than, you know, it's Mal'Ganis. You got to see, like, that's your score. How many times do you feed? Well, Raynor getting caught there by the gravity lapse does use the adrenaline rush to stay nice and healthy. Got the pull once again onto the Ragnaros as Bachelor there has that spell armor from the meteor at level 4. So let's take a look here. What are we likely to have? We're likely to have the Johanna going into the Blessed Shield. So that could stop the Mal'Ganis as well. That's another pause for him, interrupting whatever. And he was a lot of the problem, I think, for game number 1 for ProBUs. Zul'jin's going to do a lot of damage, just as he does. I'm not sure which ult we'll see from him. With Mal'Ganis, with the sleeps from Ana, it could very well be that we see the guillotine. Already 35% or so of the way toward the first shrine here. There's the polymorph. And Dahaka coming in from below. Ragnaros popping the Molten Core, working on getting the rest of these here. 26 to 1, make it 2, as it is going to be the pull on to Raynor, and Gravity Lapse going to lock him down just long enough for the kill. Only 4 more, but Rag is out of Molten Core, so it's no longer safe for ProBUs to get these. Bachelor going in, possibly going to try to finish it off. Can they get out, though? Looks like they will. Mortar Punisher coming in. Ragnaros heading up into the top here. Mystic will call attention from that Punisher, forcing it right at the wall here, as Sylvanas with the black arrows trying to stall out the damage from the tower. Polymorph going out onto Mystic there to condemn, but Sylvanas sticking around a little bit too late there. Desna trying to get that hyper shift out there, but couldn't quite get in time. Now Johanna here trying to get away, does still have another moment. Ultimately was enough to get away from the sleep, but turns out running in a straight line is not going to get you away from the maximum range gravity lapse. Three charges so far for Zul'jin on his Headhunter. He's looking for 2 more. That'll give him the additional range, and I believe, let's take a look. What is his range? And I just want to see what your range is. There we go. So he's at 5.5. Raynor is at 6.5. Yeah. So once he's done with that quest, Zul'jin will be even with Raynor. And once he finishes the 75 stacks, he'll actually be ahead. He'll have more distance. All right, camp's being picked up here. We got Aruba trying to get away. The sleep coming in. Pixie Dust trying to help out, keeping the damage relatively low from Kael'thas, but just not enough as Mal'Ganis going back in, and it's actually Ana who gets that kill. Sleep Dart going, landing onto the Ragnaros, and with the, once again that CC combo, the Fell Claws locking in the Ragnaros just long enough to get that kill. We're seeing a little bit, again, of that CC chain causing some difficulty for ProBUs at this point. At level 10, that may provide a little bit more value, right? They get the Blessed Shield, Brightwing could potentially have her Emerald Wind if they go into that. And the Wailing Arrow, of course, you know, provides some value there. Also, likely to be Sulfura Smash. So, depending on where they're engaging, there could be that stun as well. The level 10's up already here for Calculated Throw. Once again, slightly ahead in the XP game here. Right now, no value out of it. Just getting a few more minion kills. Not quite able to push into the fort. Just too many bodies down here. Meanwhile, up top, Ragnar's going to get caught by a little bit more of a drag action from the Dahaka there. And the next Punisher coming up in just a few moments. It's going to be an Arcane Punisher. And it is going to be Sulfura Smash. Let's go through the rest of these ultimates, right? We got the Blessed Shield. We got the Blink Heal for Brightwing there. Wailing Arrow, Hyperion. Meanwhile, for Calculated Throw, it is in fact going to be Taz Dingo. We got the Phoenix, so it's no Pyroblast with the Nano Boost. We got the Carrion Swarm and Adaptation. No Silence coming out from Dahaka. Speaking of Dahaka, finishing his level 1 quest there. The Tissue Regeneration. Both teams having a Shaman Camp. Well, Feldclaw's coming out. The Gravity Lapse. Hypershift coming in, but not soon enough here. There's the Anti-Healing Grenade onto Chaos Tank. Brightwing just barely able to keep Johanna alive to get across that wall and ultimately get to the tap. Raynor trying to push off the Zul Jin, who I think was either looking for Raynor or possibly even to get some damage onto the healing well. Feldclaw's coming in, Hirobi falling very low. But that's it for now. Rag coming back up, so they do have the Molten Core here, which can give them a big burst. And we see here Dahaka having to use that Essence. Sylvanas, a little bit of damage with those Shadow Daggers, but right now it's just a little bit of poke. A little bit of poke. Now, Ana doesn't really mind that much. But speaking of which here, trying to keep Gen Confusion alive, here comes a massive sleep coming out from Mal'Ganis into the backline. Double Gravity Lapse, but there's the Blessed Shield. Hypershift coming in onto Badger as Sulfura Smash is going to miss there. Johanna, however, falling to the Living Bomb. And that one kill giving now 13 over to Calculated Throw. Oh, there's the Entangle with that level 13 I was just talking about. Ragnar's having to zip right on out. But that should give now Calculated Throw the Punisher here. And here it comes. Arcane Punisher going in. Ragnaros popping in to the Molten Core. Danger Zone. Ragnaros is coming out right in front there, so if Calculated Throw pushes in with this Punisher, Ragnaros probably dies. But they're actually pulling away. They've got Dahaka in the bot lane. They're going to focus on another lane because of that Ragnaros and get what value they can in the mid lane. There goes the Punisher. So ultimately, the Punisher getting just a minor amount of damage there, but giving the opportunity for that front wall in mid lane. Still no level 13 here for ProBUs, so the siege camp in the mid is going to get picked up by Calculated Throw. And this bottom fort, pretty much all gone. Not really much that ProBUs is going to be able to do about that with no minion wave really to speak of. They didn't really have the ability to get in there with 13s. But 13s are coming up soon. And with the next Punisher being mid lane and a Frozen Punisher, this is where things are going to start getting hectic. Well, there's a massive Blessed Shield with the Wailing Arrow looking for the kill onto Chaos. They do get it. The root going out onto Chaos Tank. Great place to start for ProBUs. And now they've got lanes that they've got to clear up. They've got a mid camp, they got a bot camp that are both doing a little bit of pressure. And ultimately, Dahaka here is going to be able to take out this healing well, almost certainly, and get damage onto the fort. We got the spinning hammers coming out from Johanna there, but here comes Dahaka right into the team, does get the pull onto Chaos Tank. However, Johanna's usually the one that you can keep on there for the longest, but she just took so much damage. Hyperion there used to enable the disengage, and thanks to Dahaka coming in, that ultimately gave Calculated Throw the opportunity to prevent the camp invade. Started off looking really solid for ProBUs, but then Dahaka said, by the way, guys, drag just missing the Ragnaros there. As level 16 is now available here for Calculated Throw. We see that picking in there. Chaos Tank is kind of low, but Sulfurious Smash right on point. Home run onto Dahaka. And that body flew so far up in the air. Home run? That was more like a slam dunk. We'll call that a slam dunk. With that, both teams retreating to their own side, going to pick up their Shaman camp. And ProBUs may have a little bit of an advantage here to start with. Probably not much, because Dahaka can zip right on in. He probably has his... Oh, wrong side. We'll go with 1. 5? Why does it keep showing? Oh, because Dahaka was showing. Brush Stalker's up. So yeah, Dahaka can come right in once this is engaged. So both teams going to get some value onto a structure here. Looks like for the most part, though, ProBUs is going to get more value out of this. But that's not a bad thing necessarily for ProBUs. They're getting some damage into the mid here, and this is where the next Punisher is. It's a frozen Punisher. So they're in a better position now to capitalize. Both teams have lost their healing well in mid. Astronaut Dahaka. You'll love to see it. Here we go. Blessed Shield coming out. The Sulfurious Smash and Mal'Ganis Polyed is deleted. And there's the drag coming out onto the Ragnaros. Tater popping that Amani Rage, trying to get the additional damage and attack speed. And Gen Confusion having to use the Burrow, using that Essence as well. Adaptation coming in is not enough. The Wailing Arrow from Sylvanas finishing the job. Hyperion getting a little bit of damage in there as well. And a double kill for ProBUs. And again, they've already started down here. They've already got this mid fort very low. It's about 10%, maybe less, of its health. As Ragnaros going back to clean up the camp, we see here possibly the old 39 count. Right? Get them up to a high stack so that you can easily get the last 1 or 2. And then go get a camp to come along with it. Gotta finish it soon, though, because Zul'jin getting all of the points there. And there it is. We got the engage coming in here. There's the entangle going out onto Johanna. She's going to Blessed Shield onto the Zul'jin. He is going to pop his Taz Dingo, but he's surrounded. There's the Polymorph, as mentioned in the draft. And this combination of the Blessed Shield plus the Sulfurious Smash, and then, if necessary, the Polymorph immediately after, is getting so much value. Essentially turning to Calculated Throw what they did in Game 1 right back onto them. Getting that CC chain. Oh, but a big Flame Strike coming out from Mona. Hitting onto the DPS here. Gonna force ProBUs to have to pull back. Their Punisher sitting about 30%. But ultimately that damage just too much. So they'll head down into the bot lane and start working on the next fort. Back in my day, we didn't have the old 39. Oh my goodness. So that was a great combo there from ProBUs. But guess what? Everybody's on the map now. Both teams sitting almost identical in XP. Combo is up here. There's the Blessed Shield. There's the Sulfurious Smash. Dahaka does get the Burrow out, but is going to get silenced on the way here. Is it enough? And it looks like maybe it is. Nano Boost out onto Kael'thas as well. They're spreading those living bombs. Have to get apart for that. So no kills out of this one, but that is a short cooldown. But so are the cooldowns on the side of Calculated Throw. This is overall, this is a pretty short cooldown group. Siege camp available there in the mid lane, but see the rotation for ProBUs heading up into the top. Looking for the fort, it looks like. Brightwing's gonna hold on. Oh, I thought she was gonna hold that vision, so let's take a look and see what they see. So they don't know where they're at. We're gonna see them pop up here in just a moment, but it's not soon enough to save. Maybe it is soon enough to save the fort. Johanna having to use the Iron Skin to get out. Blessed Shield going out as a disengage tool there. Brightwing is going to make it out, I think, but they lose both the Sylvanas and Johanna, so that was a risky play. They did, in fact, get the fort, but what is it going to cost them? They already have top wall down here on their top keep. With a 5-stack, with level 20s up, and Calculated Throw turn this into a win now. 30 seconds until those two heroes are back up. We do have level 20s coming up soon, and Molten Core presumably is available for the Ragnaros, but not if he gets put to sleep, caught by the stun there. Hyperion coming out is going to just push people back as Ragnaros moving up to try to finish off that Shaman camp, and it looks like not even the keep's going to go down. That said, top lane has the next Punisher. It's going to be an Arcane Punisher, and this late in the game, that Arcane Punisher is going to do a lot of damage. So either team getting this Punisher is likely to get at least the keep. They get a kill or two. Could be the game. And I think it's going to come down to which CC lands. If we see that Blessed Shield Sulfura Smash combo onto probably just about anybody but Dahaka, and maybe Zul'jin, because he does have Tazdingo, then it might be where they need to start. But if Mystic gets off the Seeker Swarm, right here, putting the team to sleep could be a massive problem. Dahaka's down in the bot lane, is going to probably come drag up. Here he comes with the Brush Talker. Johanna deep up in there by herself. Does still have the combo. Never mind, Blessed Shield used there. 25 so far as Molten Core popped by Ragnaros. Let's take a look. What did he take here? It is the heroic difficulty. So extra damage, reduced cooldown. Is it enough to get the last 11 that they need? Johanna's going to pop Iron Skin. The Gravity Lap's going to land onto Hirobi. Sylvana spreading that fire over to Ragnaros. So 22 to 32. This could be the last fight of the game. Sleep going out. Badger Lord is going to get the kill onto Dahaka, and it's Mystic falling next. Chaos Tank, though. That tanks are just falling everywhere. Zul'jin with the Tazdingo is going to survive. Gravidops coming out is going to get the Rainer. The Root going out too, but they get the Kael'thas and the Ana. ProBUs picking up the Punisher. They've got Johanna down, but it's a 4v1 at this point. Don't count Zul'jin out, though. He does a lot of damage, and going into that Twin Axes, if he catches the right person, it could be lights out for them. There's the jump onto the Zul'jin. Blue team getting that mid fort. There's still a long time before Calculated Throw can make it. But again, with the root combination of the core mechanic, is it enough? It doesn't look like it's going to be. Zul'jin getting caught by the Punisher once again. Sulfura Smash coming out, just not quite where it needed to be. And here comes that heroic difficulty. 40%. ProBUs looking like maybe they've just finished this game, evening up the score 1-1 as we get set up for game number 3. $11 kills to 10. And that was an exciting game. What a way to finish that. Both teams putting in work getting their combos, making the CC chains happen. You know, you don't see Ragnaros taking a lot of Sulfurous Smash. There is no doubt. I challenge anybody in this chat to say that Sulfurous Smash didn't ultimately seal the deal for them. The combination, right? But if they didn't have Sulfurous Smash, they didn't get half of those kills. Lava Wave maybe, you know, keeps them in the game a little bit more on the XP, keeps the pressure up, so it becomes a different game. But in this case, I think the Sulfurous Smash was absolutely fantastic. And big shout out to Desda, bringing that Brightwing win rate right up. Love to see it. We're going to go to game 3 in a moment here. Let's take a look at those talents. Why use bullets when you got a knife? Oh my goodness. Let's take a look at the standings. So both of these teams just now have one additional point. For Calculated Throw, that puts them tied up with Illa Dancing Queen. And for ProBUs, that doesn't do anything. They're still sitting in 8th place. But they're a little bit farther ahead now. I Must Feed and Kael'thas Can't Spell cannot catch them with just a single 2-0 victory. They have to actually win extra points to get that. Looks like we're going to Volskaya next. That little information. Let's see. So that was Calculated Throw. Did that? Probe took Volskaya. Go ahead and update that. Let's take a look at our map, shall we? All right. For the map bans, we banned out Sky Temple and Battlefield of Eternity on the side of Calculated Throw. ProBUs banned out the Braxis Holdout and Dragonshire. Our first game there, Calculated Throw, they selected Towers of Doom. They won that. It was 20. I think they had 20 points left, if I remember correctly. ProBUs, however, coming back in game number 2, evening up the score on Calculated Throw's map there on Infernal Shrine. So game number 3, the first opportunity for ProBUs to select the map tonight, or for Calculated Throw to have a first ban. So we'll have to see now whether that changes how they draft, whether some of these bans get flipped around. Eight-bit Royal Badger. Badger was once hit by a snake and the snake died. I'm not sure what you're saying about Badger. Are you saying that the Badger's poisonous? Yep. Right? I mean, that's how that works out, right? Because the snake may be venomous, but if the snake died, that means the Badger's poisonous. It's unfortunate. Ragnaros. Honest. So definitely, if you guys are into the multi-Twitch, there are a couple of other games out there that are starting now, or started just a couple minutes ago. So make sure you check out the NGS homepage, see what's going on over there. Letting them know I'm ready in case they had any questions. Aka and Zol. Where do we go from here, folks? Who's going to win this game? What do you think? Badger's very toxic. I suppose that's another way to put it. There you go. How you doing, Aero? Cerna? Good to see it. Jun Overkill, Stab Face, Thindis, Paul, thanks for the follows this evening. Appreciate you stopping by. All right, here we go. We're in the draft now. And for the first time tonight, we're starting on the left. We're going to see what Calculated Throw brings. And they're switching it up, going into the Sylvanas. Sylvanas has been picked twice so far by ProBUs. And Calculated Throw says, we're not going to take it first, so we're not going to let you have it. Got any nachos? I got nacho cheese Doritos. I'll fax them to you, JakeBot. Orphea going to be the ban here, continuing with the trend of first ban Orphea. And Johanna, the second ban for Calculated Throw. So, do we continue to see the Mal'Ganis, or do we maybe see possibly that ETC? They banned out ETC last game in the second pick there. Or do we see something different? Some other heroes have gotten some upgrades, right? So, we had the Anubarak. Got extra shielding. We saw Stitches get extra health, but it's actually going to be Zool being picked up first here. First time that Zool was not banned. We'll have to see how Zool turns out for Tater there. Tater going from Zool Jin to Zool. That makes my life easy. What's it going to be out from ProBUs? So they banned out the Decker. No, they're going to take away that Mal'Ganis. And they're going to pick up Hanzo to go with it. So now it's up to Calculated Throw to recognize how do they counter this Mal'Ganis. Let's stop that from causing the same problems against them that they had in Game 1. Deckard certainly was a huge value to go along with the Mal'Ganis in Game 1. And we're going to return to the Mal'Ganis versus ETC show we saw in Game 1, but it switched sides. Actually, you know what, Thendis, I agree with you that Cool Ranch is a better flavor, but I can't eat as many Cool Ranch nachos in a row as I can nacho cheese. Just throwing that out there. Right? Like, it's something about the flavor, you can't just go through an entire bag. Not that you should. And I don't recommend it. Whitemane going to be the third and final ban here from ProBUs. Trying to lock down as many of those healers as they can. That's right. Yeah, they cool American flavor. They are called Cool Ranch here as well. Yes. All right. So, what's it gonna be? Gonna be the Li Ming. So Li Ming not yet banned here tonight, but on this map makes a lot of sense. Hirobi gonna pick up the Kael'thas. So once again, we see switching sides. Both of these mages, the Li Ming, the Kael'thas, both can get a lot of value on Volskaya. Got a confined space. Makes it real easy to say, point, click, put that damage right there, and suddenly people are blowing up. So I like the pick. Desda returning to the Lucio. And you know, a couple days ago, we saw the Lucio with some absolutely amazing sound barriers and some kills in there. So I'm looking forward to this. Now, Mal'Ganis has the combo with Kael'thas. What are we going to see out of their solo lane, I wonder? I'm thinking maybe Leoric again. It doesn't give as much CC. They do have the Hanzo Dragon. But on the side of Calculated Throw, they've got lots of CC. And they're returning to the Mephisto of Game 1. And with the ETC, with the Blaze, those are both big stuns. We got the Zool, who can provide a root. We got another root from Malfurion. There's a lot of ways for this to go south for ProBUs. Calculated Throw doing what they did in Game 1. It's going to return to the Ragnarok. Right, let's see here. So, Blaze again. Nacho Doritos dipped in nacho cheese. Get out of here. Oh, man, that sounds so terrible. All right, going into game number 3. Currently 1-1 in this best of 3 match. So really the only score you could have on a best of 3. Both of these teams have others in their organization. The Calculated Throw has 2 Calculated Throw, and previously had Calculated Throw, Hanamura Drift. And ProBUs, of course, has ProBUs along with the ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush. Let's go ahead and start over here to the right with our red team. It's ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush. Oh, that's not right. Good thing I caught that. On the right, we've got Hirobi playing Kael'thas. We got Desda on the Lucio. Chaos Tank on Mal'Ganis. Aruba playing Hanzo. And Badgerlord once again on the Ragnaros. Over here for Calculated Throw, Monitor playing the Mephisto. Tater on the Zool. Mystic playing the ETC. Reven on Malfurion. And Gen Confusion playing the Blaze. Alright. Taking a look at these level 1 talents. Alright, so last game, Malfurion came out and fed. Because that's what Mal'Ganis. So it'd only be worse if they had Malthael. Power Slide coming in onto Hirobi, but look at the living bombs going out there. A lot of dot damage to sleep hitting onto Zool. And Mystic falling a bit low, but does have that guitar solo. So he can get nice and healthy. Also giving himself that 25 armor from his trait. You see Ragnaros this time going into the Smash build. So likely doing that because they got that big front line of 3 heroes. 3 melee heroes, rather. Chaos Tank getting the Fell Claws. Now getting rooted is going to try to use the Night Rush, but it turns out you can't go anywhere when you're rooted. The Night Rush not quite getting a whole lot of value there. Now, Furion taking the Rejuvenation. So anytime he puts that heal onto another hero, he's going to put a little bit of it on himself as well. Drifts should be free forever. But 8-bit. So we saw in the last game, our first couple of kills here. There was one in the mid lane, it was onto Mal'Ganis. Then there was one in the solo lane, onto Ragnaros. Both these solo laners are deep into their enemy minions. Ragnaros sitting at 15 already on his Q stacks. Halfway complete. Both teams picking up their fortification camps here almost at the same time. And who's going to go for that support camp, do we think? Chaos Tank is keeping an eye on it, making sure that Calculated Throw crew doesn't find their way there. But in 20 seconds, we got Control Point A coming onto the map. Mystic here is going to use that Power Slide to get away. Says, nah, Mal'Ganis, we're not dealing with this. Wonder if getting caught by the Gravity Lapse, not that big of a deal, though, as the Shade of Mephisto rubber banding right back. Safe zone. Here comes Control Point A. Starting up here. Blaze in the bot lane. Gen Confusion trying to basically just keep the pressure up down here. We got a little bit of a fight, a little skirmish maybe up here. As both teams keeping an eye on the support camp. Looks like maybe ProBUs is going to head over to their siege camp, but that's going to give Calculated Throw the opportunity to get right in on this. And they do have pretty good damage between the Zool and Mephisto to bring that down quickly. So Chaos Tank going to head to the control point, get the channel started. But Rex doesn't have a whole lot of mana here. Did complete, however, that Q quest. Level 6. 30 stacks on that. So that gives a big burst of additional damage now. Anytime Ragnaros uses that Q. You didn't know that resets your auto attack as well. And this is 5v4. Zool's not here. Biotic Emitter is used. Gen Confusion trying to stay just inside of that and also using the Blaze healing, the self-healing from his fire as Zool coming down now. So Biotic Emitter was used here. Hanzo getting rooted by the Bone Prison. And level 7's up for Calculated Throw. ProBUs getting 2/3 of the way toward the Protector, though. And now they've got level 7 as well, so let's check this out. Looking to come back in onto the point, most likely. Turn out a little bit, though. Let's zoom out so we can see. Claw's coming in. The Night Rush got started, but Bone Prison and the Face Melt knocking him back toward the tower, bringing the armor down of Mal'Ganis, having to walk away, and Lucio doing absolutely everything possible with that amping up. Ragnaros coming in. We're going to get the movement ping called there. Turret being dropped. 35% left for calculated throw as they're looking to get this first protector down. Mal'Ganis, however, getting the sleep. Zool gonna fall. And now the channel stopped for calculated throw. Turrets both dropped on either side. And with Ragnaros coming back in, we're gonna see calculated throw pull back. Zool back on the map here in just a couple of seconds. If calculated throw can put this into overtime for just long enough, they should be able to bring it back up and have one last go at this. Especially with ProBUs on the siege camp there, the turret camp rather. And here they come. We got the vision from Hanzo here. Fellclaws getting the sleep onto ETC as well, and Gen Confusion trying to get the jet propulsion, but not quite able to land the stun. However, the power slide landing onto Chaos Tank and Badger could be enough. The root coming down, but Kael'thas is gonna get that Flame Strike to hit, and Mal'Ganis ultimately somehow manages to get the kill onto Blaze. But the health bars on ProBUs are extremely low. Chaos Tank coming back in on Mal'Ganis. They get the kill onto ETC. The Fell Claws just enough to keep him locked down so that ProBUs could get that second kill and ultimately now lock down first protector in this game. Little bit of damage thanks to Zool earlier, going out onto that top tower. Listen, announcer, blue team did not take control of Protector. I appreciate you trying. That said, the Protector is a hero. So the Mephisto ability, I don't remember his trait, but whatever it's called, would reduce his cooldowns. In level 10s, this is the first time now ProBUs has been to level 10 first game. At least tonight. Jet Propulsion looking for the Hanzo, but using that natural agility to hop right over the wall. And talking about those heroic talents. So it's going to be Sound Barrier once again. We got the Sulphurous Smash, Carrion Swarm, Dragon Arrow, and Kael'thas here sitting with the Phoenix. Level 10's coming up for Calculated Throw. This is really when their comp's going to start to come online. I assume. Unless they take some wacky ultimates here. We got the Twilight Dream, Combustion, the Mosh Pit, Poison Nova. What's it gonna be there, good old Mephisto? Which ultimate are we going into? I think maybe we see Endurance here. We'll find out in a moment. It's gonna be Consume Souls. So, you know, there's some fairly low health heroes on the side for ProBUs, so that's fine. Oh, the Twilight Dream coming out. I don't think it actually hit anybody. Sleep from Mal'Ganis is going to allow him to disengage there. The Combustion coming out. Oh, the Sulphurous Smash just a little bit too late to connect, but it didn't matter because Kael'thas is the reason why. Killing the ETC, also securing the kill onto Blaze, and that's going to give ProBUs now the opportunity to get onto the healing camp. So one more item in their favor here is we've got Ragnaros working on these fortification camp, that turret down below. Checking in on Calculated Throws items. Currently none. They do have their fortification camp up. We'll see if they look to head down there, but you've got Zool getting caught on the rotation. Gravity Lapse coming in and Fellclaws from good old Mal'Ganis locking him down. Found another kill for Zool. Now, game number 1, we saw pretty much the same kill count with a similar setup with the Mal'Ganis there. Different heroes, but the concept being the same. Lock him down. There. And ProBUs was only able to get a couple of kills kind of here and there. So it's going to be up to Calculated Throw to get their combo to work with that Mosh Pit, the Twidream, a little bit of Combustion. If they can get that combo to work here, ProBUs is in big danger. It's going to be up to either Blaze or ETC to set that up. Cleanse going out. It's a fairly short cooldown. It's 45 seconds there for Nature's Cure. I think that's what it's called. Yep. Here we go. Looking possibly for the sleep here. Mal'Ganis instead just walking away. Does get stunned. Here comes the Mosh Pit. Gets interrupted by Lucio, though. The combustion coming out too. Just a short timer there as the Poison Nova coming out. Get a lot of damage out, but with that biotic emitter, that's going to get relatively healed up. Between that and Lucio. Ragnaros probably safe. Level 13 for both teams. ETC does still have Mosh. That was a short cooldown on pushback from Desda there. Zool in the bot lane looking to pressure. We got Blaze pushing up in the mid lane. But right now, coming up here, we're looking for that jet propulsion. Doesn't quite get it. The Dragon Arrow onto ETC. Big triple Mosh here. Isn't enough. Not quite. Twilight Dream, however, coming in, pushing back ProBUs. Badgerlord falling very low, but the sound barrier coming in from Lucio, amping it up as well. Here comes that Consume Souls. It's not quite enough to finish the job, as Lucio providing so much value to the team there. Root going out onto Hirobi, so Kael'thas having to pull back as Molten Core is being used here to zone out and put out some damage here. Mal'Ganis making sure that Calculated Throw can't get the channels. Gen Confusion trying to get the stun, now trying to get away. Has a living bomb. I think he's okay. Oh, never mind. The snipe from 500 miles away. Aruba says, no, you're not getting away with that 30 hit points. And ETC coming down, trying to get the healing cam started, but ultimately, Probe's saying no. Recognizing that that was the opportunity here for them to push on. Zool down in the bot lane. They've got all the advantages here. And Biotic Emitter, once again, picked up for ProBUs. That's it. Zool does a lot of push, and he's in the bot lane. He's able to spawn additional skeletal minions. If he's left to his own devices, he will take this fort. And that is a fantastic play if they can get that pressure for the next protector. Top fort sitting about 20% as the protector making its way slowly down toward the bot lane. Try to get what they can out of this. They want to try to even up what Zool just accomplished here and maybe take it a little bit farther. Get that healing well, possibly even get the tower. The fort itself. No mosh pit, although it is coming up very soon. Jet propulsion on to 3. We got a big combustion here. ETC, again, doesn't quite have that mosh pit. Was probably looking for it, though. Root going out onto Badgerlord there. The Q is going to give him some healing, but that anti-healing from the Strangling Vines going to cause a little bit of safety there for... Well, ultimately, Badger able to make it out there. Just barely. Had a turret as well. Was kind of surprised we didn't see that dropped. But once again, Zool pushing up in the top lane now. Has the full siege camp. And level 16 is available for both teams. Everybody's redeeming some highlights. Shouting out for the probes here. Jet propulsion. Only the Lucio and Mal'Ganis here. Mosh pit missing. Desda MVP. Doing so much work on the Lucio. Getting the Mal'Ganis out of danger using that sound barrier. But up at the top, not so lucky. We got Hirobi, never mind, actually surviving. Poison Nova gonna come out, but Blaze and Zool in the confined area with the living bombs. Aruba trying to find some kind of healing, just able to survive, and somehow what started off as Kael'thas looking like an instant deletion turns into a mega kill. And Calculated Throw sent back to the graveyard as ProBUs starting to get value in these lanes. Push up the mid lane, push up the top lane. And Hanzo going back to just catch up on the health and mana there. What a play coming out. What a save keeping Hirobi alive. Somebody clip that because I'm not 100% sure how that even worked out. I did see a Sulfuria smash in there. I think that was a follow-up Sulfuria. Maybe it was a dragon arrow. Holy cow. Calculated Throw is looking for something. They haven't been able to get a kill in this game, and they've got to be chomping at the bit right now. They've got a great potential CC comp but the Lucio has been so good at preventing those moshes from getting full value, and ultimately even the great Twilight Dream we saw earlier wasn't able to convert. Here we go, though. Ragnaros a little bit far forward. The jet propulsion is going to land, but Mystic pulling back. Dragon Arrow coming out is going to get the stun. Sophia Smash missing there, as ultimately going to have to disengage there. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication there. I think if ETC was in a little bit farther forward position instead of pulling back, maybe they could have gotten that kill, but possibly not. The rest of the team wasn't quite close enough. They were all trying to engage in and catch the Ragnaros, but just wasn't in a position that they could go. And here comes the combustion looking. Ragnaros is nowhere nearby. Poison Nova as well. Consume souls. They pushed all of the R buttons. There's the mosh pit, but they don't have the damage right now. Maybe? Gas Tank getting very low is going to survive by tens of health because of the biotic emitter. And here comes Ragnaros now with the Molten Core. Blaze going to fall to the Kael'thas, and they might look for the Malfurion. They're chasing him down. Popping him off as... Oh, they got it. Chaos Tank coming in with Fellclaw is going to get the stun onto ETC. ETC was trying to help Malfurion, but the snipe from Aruba finishing the job, and they're looking now for the Siege Camp possibly to get started on some keep damage here, as Ragnaros heading down into Control Point C, as only the 2 from Calculated Throw on the map, and level 20 advantage here for ProBUs. They're going to rotate now down. Coming in, looking for the flank onto Zool. I'm not sure that, yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure the Mal'Ganis is going to be able to do this. They don't have the Sylvanas they had last couple of games. All right, so half on this bottom fort. Should be able to finish that up. Even if they just went in, they could finish it. They've got a couple of turrets if they wanted to drop one and soak it. But Mal'Ganis could take the couple of hits they would need. That said, looking for the invade here. There's the Dragon Arrow coming out onto Blaze. The root, however, preventing any significant follow-up. Because keep in mind, Ragnaros isn't here. He can't really provide any help from where he's at. Wonderderp going in, trying to get some damage out there. But that's now 3 turrets. Does Ragnaros have one? 4 turrets for ProBUs. No biotic emitter, though. And the last 2 biotic emitters were clutch in keeping ProBUs alive. So we'll see now if they're able to still make it through all this. They do have the level 20 advantage. ETC coming in with the power slide. Does have Mosh. Gets the Mosh onto Kael'thas. And Twilight Dream, it's going to be... There's that first kill of the game here. And this is where it starts. Getting that kill onto Kael'thas is going to provide a ton of value if they can make it out of here. Greenland trying to run away here. Gets sniped by Lucio in the Protector. 1 for 1 so far as ProBUs looking to bring down this keep. Zool pushing up in the top lane on the opposite side. So this is still advantage ProBUs here as they're looking for Gen Confusion. They're going to get that kill onto Blaze. They got the turrets. And there goes Ragnaros into Molten Core. Zool's got to come back. He can't stay there. Is he Hearthling? Sure is. Tater's coming back. ETC gets the power slide. And this is not a strong core defense. A couple of knockbacks, a little bit of damage. But the core mechanic itself isn't going to do a ton. So it's entirely up to the defenders. They do have level 20s. There's the Poison Nova. However, the Sulfura Smash missing. ETC trying to do something in the backline here, but ultimately just going to get the Death Mosh onto Ragnaros. But Hanzo died earlier, and Mimic coming in from Monodurp might be able to be enough. Quite, though. Just couldn't quite get the right angle, as now Zool looking to maybe catch up here. And Zool probably not the one you want to try to face when you're that low in health, but the Bossa Nova coming in from Lucio once again, allowing for that full disengage. Setting up a path, though. This game's not over. Calculated Throw set up a path to victory through top lane. If they can catch a good team fight, it doesn't matter what the scoreboard shows on the kills. It only matters who finishes the core. And this game is open for either team. Currently down 1 hero on both sides, but Blaze is still fairly tanky. Has the new habits at level 1 for that unstoppable here. They're going to go ahead and pull back. They don't have the Zool quite in position for it. And Now, Hanzo back on the map, and he's got that global. He's got the play of the game. Looking for that arrow coming in. Here comes the combustion. Massive arrow hitting onto a couple, but the Twilight Dream silences out 2, 3. Consumes souls, and it doesn't connect on the 2 lowest targets because they're both off the map. The kill onto Malfurion, the mosh pit coming out. There is a death battle potentially, but he's quite healthy. Mal'Ganis instead going to be the one to fall. And I completely missed the Lucio kill. So there you go. Getting 2 kills for 1 is Calculated Throw. What can they get out of this? Blaze is fairly low on health, so he's got to stop this siege camp from taking potentially another keep. The Calculated Throw has to get value here. And starting the channel is not going to happen because everybody will be back up by then. Right now, they've just got to keep pushing out their lanes because the catapults are just mounting everywhere. The siege camp will give them some counter pressure for the control point. And Blaze is now back up, healthy. First control point. It's not actually the first control point. Technically the 4th control point, but the first zone. Again, round 2 fight. Coming back up here. And Probe's sitting on it first. Mal'Ganis is pretty far away. Currently, the advantage in favor here of Calculated Throw is they're moving their way in here. Hirobi, fairly squishy target to be the one sitting on the board. Take a look at those level 20s. It's going to be Lunar Shower, I think, for Malfurion there. Yep. Additional damage and all that good stuff. We saw the Mimic. We saw the upgraded Poison Nova as well. So longer damage from the Poison Nova, but it also heals Zool. The Combustion upgrade as well, Flashfire, giving additional movement speed and slowing anybody in it. That's all for Calculated Throw. Here we go. We got the root coming out. Can't quite land it on the Mal'Ganis. Oh, great stun onto the Mal'Ganis. Make it a Twilight Dream with the Poison Nova coming out. Lucio's entire health bar is dot damage. Chaos Tank trying to get out, using the Carrion Swarm, but just a moment too late. And Consumed Souls might be enough to get the Lucio a double kill. The Zool Poison Nova ultimately finishing that. And the control point going to be completed here in just a moment by Calculated Throw. Wait, Hanzo just finished that quest? Yikes, those snipes were doing so much damage earlier. Kael'thas could be in big danger here. Actually, never mind. A little bit of a gravity lapse pause for Tater. And now Calculated Throw heading up to the top lane. They've already taken out this top keep. Oh, Aruba. Aruba getting rooted by the Bone Prison there. And Mephisto says, thanks for the gift. And I don't think we have Molten Core. We just used it on the mid control point. With this Protector, they might be able to end the game, but there's a massive wave of catapults, and nobody's paying attention to this. They're all here. It's 60%. Are they going to make it? The ProBUs just needs to pause this for a short bit. They might win the game here. The sleep's coming out, 10%, 20, one more round of catapults, and they did it! What a finish! I can't believe it! What a way to close out such an amazing set, and a strong comeback from Calculated Throw, and it was so close. All right, let's see. I do want to shout out 8-Bit for the 100 bits. Much appreciated. Really appreciate that. Glad that we could get the cast in for you here. There we go. That was about as close as a game as I think I've ever seen in NGS. Hold on 1 second here. Trying to get Desda in here for you guys. I know you'd like to have that. Well, certainly somebody will join me soon. Hopefully. I'm gonna have to increase the cost of it.
All right, I got her on the condition that we have a twofer.
All right, well, fair enough. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We've got both Chaos Tank and Desda joining us. Congratulations on your victory there. What a finish!
That
way to finish
was as close as it gets. I have already made this pun once in game, but I think that was a calculated throw.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You know, and it's crazy. So at what point, let's start with this. At what point did you say, we might be able to defend this? Like, we might be able to win. When did you recognize that opportunity?
Are you talking about that final play or the core push that didn't?
Not the like. Let's forget that happened for right now. Let's talk about just that very end play where you guys have 65% of core health to go through, and there's 4, I think, catapults going. Like, when did you say we can actually defend this and win it?
We identified that there were 4 catapults going onto the core right about at the time then they chewed through the top keep, and I wasn't necessarily sure that they were going to do it. It was just kind of like something that we passively noticed, and then once they started beating on the keep, we identified that their core was falling at a quite rapid pace, and at that point it became less about killing them and more about, let's put everyone to sleep and just wait them out. Of course, the robot can't be put to sleep, but
push the pause button and hope for the best, right? I mean, holy cow. That was an amazing finish. And that game 3, had so many good plays. And I have to say that, you know, when you guys go back and watch this, at least, you know, game 3 and you know, a little bit of game 2, but game 3 was the Desda show. 100%. It was, how do we keep all of these people alive? How do we somehow keep Kael'thas alive with no health? How do we keep Mal'Ganis from dying when there's 4 people chasing him? How do you do it?
I press buttons.
I mean, that's a great way to start.
Like, I just mash E. Go, go, go! I'm like, 7 barriers and up. That was up. 3 seconds.
So, question from chat for you, Desda. How's your back?
My back?
Yeah. How does it feel to be carrying the team so hard in this case?
Oh my god, they're too nice to.
But no, seriously, like, there were so many plays. The combination of, like, Zool with the Poison Nova, there was, I don't remember which of several fights it was, but there was a Poison Nova, there was a Combustion combination, I think it was in the bot lane, where everybody, your entire health bar was gone. I think you do eventually die on this, eventually, particular one. But the whole thing lasted so much longer between you, Mal'Ganis, like, going back in on that fight with absolutely no health, just saying, hey, we're going to finish this out and get this. Like, you guys played that set, you know, start to finish with gradient improvement, right? Game 1 looked a little bit sketchy. It was a difficult combo to go into. And I do have a question for you, Desda, on Game 1. But it was a little bit difficult with as much CC as they had, and you guys really just had the ETC, right? Then you get into Game 2, and things kind of start to turn your way. It's a little bit even, a little bit back and forth, but ultimately you guys get your combo to work out, that Blessed Shield into the Sophia Smash into the Polymorph when necessary, and people just die. and then you get into game 3, and you almost get away through the whole game without a death. Very close to it. So it was absolutely fantastic to watch your guys' growth and adjustments throughout the night. It was great. So I just wanted to cover that. Question for you, game number 1. Was there ever a thought of possibly going into high 5?
Oh, never. No. Sorry, no.
Wow, it's just like when I asked for my first date in high school. No, never. No, just kidding.
No, I think
I'll give you a high five, Aero.
Hey,
I think I took that ulti when he first got his rework, however long ago. I think I took it once or twice, and then I was like, sound barrier is just way too good. There's no chance I would ever. So no, I never even considered it.
gotcha. Okay, and that's fair. I was just wondering. And Chaos Tank, I thought you did a really good job as ETC. Playing into the Mal'Ganis, trying to do as much as you could to zone for the rest of your team, but ultimately, when 4 out of 5 of their players have a way to stop you, and you're one lone character, it's very difficult to accomplish that, right?
It was really rough. Yeah, ETC is not the beefiest of tanks, ironically, and I don't think I got any mosh value at all in that game. They had my number. It was real tough.
So that's mostly true. You did have, I think, one mosh that lasted for about a second, but as you recognized in game 2 and game 3, you took Deckard off the table and were able to then get pretty much those CCs that you wanted in game 2 and 3. Obviously not with the EC, but Deckard couldn't hit the pause button for their team then. So that was obviously a change. What else did you guys look at, and what was the coach's moment or the captain's moment to say, hey, going into game 2, this is how we win this?
Just kind of a full-on adjustment. We had to take a step back after a very difficult game 1 and think about, what really wrecked us. And the answer we came to was that Deckard just made everything else so empowered. I think we could deal with the other elements of it, but the Deckard really made everything come together like glue.
Yeah.
But
to that Deckard, I don't remember who played him, but
that was grievant. Heck of a job there.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the team was very annoying too. Mystic, for someone who claims to not play any tanks, you have a hell of a Mal'Ganis, and that Mephisto was... It hurt. It hurt me a lot. So props to you guys. I want to give all the credit in the world to Calculated Throw. They're a great team. I don't want to discount them at all. I saw that they beat out Bunker Fun Time even earlier on in the season. I think that was the first match. They took some games off of the Church of Murky, the Nexus Cats, all very good teams. So I think people should watch out for Calculated Throw. They have some tricks, as they showed off tonight.
And they did a fantastic job. I mean, that first game was very much in their control. They did a fantastic job there, and game 1 and game 2 were mirror of each other, right? In game 1, they had all the control, were able to really get everything that they wanted to almost all the time. And in game 3, that was, with the exception of the last couple of minutes there, was largely in your favor. And maybe just the tiniest little bit of luck. Maybe about, say, 5% of luck.
Yeah. You know what? The modest part of me wants to say that it was luck, but just the snarky pun lord is gonna go for the Calculated Throw pun again. It was definitely calculated. I wasn't worried. Not a bit.
Well, and in any case, when you're watching, and I want to ask you about this too. When you're watching, you've got, I think, 2 heroes left alive, which was Ragnaros and, well, originally Hanzo was up until Hanzo almost threw it for you guys with the far forward root catch there. But so it was Ragnaros and, was it Hirobi? Was Kael'thas up?
Yes.
I believe it was,
I think
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, so you've got your 2 DPS with the protector coming down into your face. They're at the keep there. It's easy to feel like the game's over at this point, right? Because you still have 30 plus seconds on most of your team. So sticking it out for one is admirable, because you already like are in a position where it's like, wow, can we even defend this? But was there anything that you said other than obviously, hey, we got 4 catapults, maybe we can do something here? But is there anything that you said to like jazz up the team and say, no, we really can do this?
We definitely identified that the problem Mephisto was inside the protector, and we made the call to focus the Zool as the most damagey person still on the ground. I think the robot would have been a lot to chew through at that point with just 2 people. So we tried as hard as we could to focus that Zool and put the rest of them to sleep and drop all the CC with it we could. I think that was the call there.
Deal. All right. Well, I'm gonna get to my my last question, and this is for Desda because Chaos Tank never gives me a good answer. Always
I
makes me
flub
answer
it all
my
the
own
time.
question. So Desda, what is one particular moment tonight of any 3 games, any of these 3 games, that you feel that you want to make sure gets highlighted? And it doesn't have to be something that you did. It doesn't have to be something your team did. Just something that you, one particular moment that you think should be brought to everybody's attention.
I don't think I'm gonna be any better than Chaos. I don't know. It's always such a blur, especially because the 3 games happen so quickly, one right after the other, that I can't really remember except for people's health bars, like just never being where they should be. So I don't know.
Tell you what, I'll give you guys one. Aside from the stuff we've already talked about, and RB's brought up a comment here, but I think the turning point for you guys was in game 2, and it was the lead-off Blessed Shield onto Dahaka with the Sulfura Smash, and I think this one had a polymorph on it as well to make sure that he died. He died so fast, and that was the turning point. That was the point where you guys as a team started to gain value and really push forward.
Mm-hmm. We definitely identified that we could burst down any one of their tanks, but we knew that the CC had to be perfect, otherwise Dahaka just sticks his head underground and heals up. So,
which he did do once.
Yeah, guilty for not being perfect.
Yeah.
There's still work to do on the CC chains, but I think that, like you said, it came together from game 1 through 3. I think we steadily improved. Although 3 was, it was a nail biter. There's no sugarcoating it. That could have been their game.
Could have been. All right.
Definitely.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap up. Any shout-outs? You can both take your time to do so.
I will start out by, like I said, shouting out Calculated to Throw. You guys did great. This was maybe the most nail-biter match that we've had all game, or all season. Usually it's much more one-sided, and this one was very back and forth. You guys played your hearts out. Very, very well done. Shout out to, Desda for being here and keeping us alive despite all the screaming. You managed it. And I'm guessing probably another MVP will come your way once someone will clip a thing and make me do it. Shout out to Badger for all of those pianos that he threw at people. They were amazing. They carried. That was fantastic. And I believe he didn't even die in game 3, so well done, Badger. The arrows off of Aruba were fantastic. That contributed to the CC chain. I think we got a good one on Blaze, caught him out, and just secured the kill that way. It couldn't have been done without him. And Hirobi, thank you for spreading all of the bombs and just bearing with us while they all charge you, and only you. And thank you again for all of the probe-related people in the crowd, 8-Bit, Arby's, everyone. Thank you guys for cheering us on.
Definitely. Shout outs for me would definitely be, of course, everyone on the team. Chaos for all the awesome calls that he does, all the talking he does that just directs us right to where we need to be all throughout every game. Shout calling Hirobi Aruba for just always being there to follow up and doing the damage. Badger, I think, doesn't get enough credit either for all the pressure that goes on him. Thanks to him. Thanks to my husband Arby sitting here next to me that always cheers me on and watches my games. Thanks to everyone 5 centimeters for always cheering us on too. It's always nice having a big group of friends that are a good support system. And thank you, Aero.
Thank you, Aero. I know that you have another game to get through, but thank you for taking the time to cast us again. We really appreciate it.
Oh, I don't have another cast. I was going to pick one up if we somehow had gotten through, the series very quickly. And I could pick one up at 10, but
that didn't happen. Sorry.
Yeah, darn you guys for playing an exciting nail biter finish game. And also, so it was Arby, by the way, who brought up the carry, the how's your back, but which makes a lot more sense now. Yeah, of course. But there was the Mystic actually pointed out the combo on the top. Was it Shrine? I guess Shrine in game 2. The Wombo top Shrine at end of game 2 was definitely play of the night, he said. So so you guys had some great plays tonight. Go back and clip those. They were really fantastic. If nothing else, you want to make sure that you can just revisit those because they went well. And since I didn't get to do it on Tuesday, I do want to shout out those potions, the potion MVP from Tuesday. As long as you're here.
Chaos put a link of it in our chat, team chat, and said Deckard wins without doing anything. Like,
nice.
That's a meme, right? Like Luigi and Mario Party.
No, I had no idea.
Oh,
that makes it even funnier, I guess.
Yeah, there's just lots of clips of him winning and not even moving. And I thought that it was a good reference. I'm explaining a joke right here. Happy birthday, Sage, if you're in the chat. Thank you, guys.
Good deal. Well, guys, thanks again for joining me, and we'll catch you on the next cast.
Thanks, you, Aero. Have a great night.
You too. Alrighty, so that's going to wrap us up. I do want to say thanks to everybody who followed, who subscribed. There was Thendis subscribing earlier with Twitch Prime. Really appreciate that. Mystic with the 100 bits. Also, really appreciate you doing that. Really fantastic to be here. Haven't done as much casting this season, but, the casting that I have done has been really exciting. And this match tonight, what a way to finish. 2-1 in favor of ProBUs Drift Cannon Rush over Calculated Throw. But, I gotta say, Calculated Throw put up a hell of a push in that end. And that's going to be a finish to remember for a long time. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here tonight. Gonna check up and see if I can get the game to let me raid somebody. 1 second. Usually when I pop open my stream manager, it tries to shut everything. I can do. And everybody saying thanks for the cast, of course. You are welcome. Glad to do so. And let's check in here. I think, Murda brought a bunch of people over. Let's see if Murda is. Yeah, we're going to send everybody over to our good friend Murda. And so you guys have a good night. Thanks again for stopping by.